Hey everybody, it's time to cast some what's.
We're casting what's here.
Christmas is over. That was a rough one, man. That seemed like
fucking finally, man. God damn.
Yeah. I was just talking with my wife about how more than ever, like Halloween came and went, like it was almost like nothing happened. And Christmas came and went, but Christmas took a lot of work this year.
Yeah, I find like the older I get, the more bah humbuggy I am. Like I find Christmas annoying now. Like, you know, I used to be, when I was a kid, I'd get all excited to decorate the Christmas tree and shit. And now just like the act of going to get a Christmas tree and then set it up and then put the fucking decorations up. And then the decorations are on the house. And then you got to put up the Christmas lights on the front porch and then the Christmas tree on the front porch. And then, you got to do the garland. You can't forget the garland. Fucking Christmas, man. It took basically a full day to decorate for Christmas. And then it was up for less than a month. And then 2 days after Christmas, we took it all down. And it took almost a full day to take all that shit down. And then I got to go up fucking 3 flights of stairs because we store all the Christmas stuff in the attic. But when we set everything up, all the empty boxes and totes go in the basement. So I've got to go all the way from the fucking basement to the attic like a gajillion times. I fucking hate it. Goddamn Christmas. And I'm like the only bah humbug. Like everyone else is like, yay, Christmas. I'm like, oh, fucking Christmas. God damn it.
Yeah. It's fun to do the stuff like the trees and lights with the kids and shit. But we put up our lights very late. Like we did it like 2 days before Christmas. And then the day after Christmas, my wife looked at the tree and was like, we have to put that a fucking way now. I was like, yeah, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah. It almost makes it so it's not worth it. But I'm also the fucking asshole who's sitting here bitching about decorating for Halloween when I like make all my own, or Christmas. I bitch about decorating for Christmas when I make all my own Halloween props and set it for Halloween. So I don't know. I'm just a fucking asshole, probably.
That's what I've surrendered to. I'm just an asshole. I've grown into a grumpy old asshole.
Yeah. Like I like Halloween and scary stuff. So to me, that's fun. And I don't make Christmas props. I don't, who gives a shit? I tried this year. And I'm going to try again next year, but I tried to convince my girlfriend to let me decorate for Halloween as Evil Christmas. And then we could leave it up from fucking Halloween to New Year. And it would be awesome. But she shot me down. She said, yeah, we could do Evil Christmas, but we're taking it down after Halloween. And I'm like, well, I don't want to fucking do Evil Christmas then.
You took a shot, buddy.
I did. I'm going to try it again this coming year as well. I want man-eating snowmen, damn it.
Oh, that's awesome. I want that.
Yeah. And I would make all of my own shit. It would be so fucking cool. But when she inevitably shoots it down, I've got some big plans for this year's setup.
That's cool. Your fabricating stuff for Halloween was awesome, dude. That was above average. You have a skill there.
Yeah, and I'm that was just like fucking really basic shit. I'm getting some I ordered just recently some different rotary tools and a bunch of liquid latex and some other shit. I'm gonna my plan is to make like this. I want to line my walkway up to the porch with like demonic rotting pumpkins and have the vines form an archway where my walkway meets the sidewalk, and then have this big like evil pumpkin head at the top of the archway, with all done with these cool vines and shit. That's my plan. We'll see how it works out.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm an asshole though, cause fuck Christmas. That's why.
Yeah, I used to be stoked to get presents, even as an adult, get something, and now I've gotten to the point I truly don't care if I get anything at all. But this year I got something interesting. Did you get anything cool this year?
I got some really cool books. I got a big ass box of candy, like from two different people. From one person, I got a box of like a bag of just about everything Haribo makes. And then somebody else got me a box of like the movie theater size boxes of a bunch of different candies. So I got a shitload of candy. I got a shitload of beer and liquor, which is awesome because I'm not a heavy drinker, so I've got like probably a 6-month supply of alcohol now, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I got a few other cool. Oh, I got a new throw rug for my office. That's the Lament configuration, which is awesome.
Oh wow, that's fucking great. I fucking
yeah.
Hellraiser has like a special place in my heart.
Me too. I was so stoked to see that because I opened it and it was like it was all folded, so it was only one panel. But all you have to see is the one panel, and you're like, oh shit, I know what this is. And then I unfolded it. It's all 6 panels laid out in like a rectangle. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I got to see that.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it works because my office has black walls and it's filled with weirdo shit. So it to quote Lebowski, it really pulls the room together. What would you end up getting?
I got a couple things. One thing that we ended up getting was one of these, what's it called? The MetaQuest 2 VR things.
What's that?
I guess
is it like the Oculus?
Yes, it's what Oculus has turned into. So it's like the newer Oculus.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I hadn't used any VR at all. I mean, like the last thing I remember using VR was, God, this is going to really date me, but it was for Nintendo. Remember, it had like a headset and it was all red and it was still like pixels.
Oh, the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I've had anything like that on. And you have the VR set for the PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Have you used an Oculus or anything else to compare that to?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
The only other VR that I've had, or not that I've had, that I've tried was the, remember like, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years ago, maybe it was more, I don't know. Remember when it was like a big thing where you could buy the sets that your phone would go in, and
yeah,
you could download programs I tried one of those, and it was a haunted house one, and it was pretty immersive.
It was very interesting because we just covered that show with AI and stuff like that and talked about how in Wall-E it would be pretty much like that, but everybody had VR on their heads. I was shocked by, I don't know, just the sensation of it. Did you experience any of those weird sensations that some people describe when they first try VR when you put the PlayStation 1 on?
What, like vertigo?
Yeah, maybe some other emotional like tics that happened. Maybe I'm stupid.
No, to me it was the weirdest feeling for me when I've used it is the fact that it's very obviously a video game. Like it doesn't seem like looking at it, it's not real life, but because it's so immersive and like you look up and you're able to see the ceiling and you look around and you can, you've got 360 degrees of vision. It makes it like tricks your brain into thinking like that it's actually real. So the experiences you have tend to feel, at least from, my experience, it just feels more realistic. Like for instance, I was playing, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a sampler, that came with the PlayStation setup. And it was just like, I don't even know if these were like samplers for games or if it was just samplers to show like what the capabilities were. Oh shit. I just knocked some shit over. Too much gesticulating while I'm talking. But it just seemed like it was like so real. And I'm like, inside, I remember this one setting specifically. It was like it looked like a rundown church, and like you could see the motes of light coming through. I don't remember if it was windows or holes in the roof or something, but and you could see the little dust swirling through there, and it just seemed so fucking real. And it wasn't, obviously. And then playing I played the Doom game, and that shit was so fucking scary.
Whoa, yeah.
Because I remember as a kid, you'd be gunning down monsters and everything, and then you'd think that you got everybody, but you just hear in the distance just like the sound of one of the demons, and you'd be like, I know it's somewhere, and you're going, then you open the door and the demon's right there, and you're like, oh shit, there it is, and then you start blasting. But when you're in VR and that happens, that's like legitimately like, I want to curl it up in a ball and fucking cry. Like, why are you doing this to me?
It really is. I got one that's it's like Call of Duty, but shooting soldier type thing. But there's of course a zombie version, and it starts you off in this like, it's weird. It's like this huge hangar of a place that has like a big obstacle course built in it, like a straight army drilling, fucking shooting ranges, mazes, all that shit. And you can like find certain rooms, and they have a button, you press it, and that room's it releases like 10 soldiers that'll come get you. And that was fun. It's pretty intense. Like you said, it's really intense. And then they had this one room that had a button, and I pressed it, and zombies came. And you see people use VR and trip and flinch and all that stuff. And I didn't think I was going to do any of that. But I got rushed by a bunch of zombies, and I had to reload. So I looked down.
It's crazy how it triggers your fight or flight, isn't it?
Dude, I look down, and I pull out my clip to reload it. I slap my clip in, I tilt my gun to chamber around, and I look up, and it's on me. And I fucking threw an elbow in real life that like scared my kids, because it was like for real. Like I planted my fucking feet and threw an elbow.
Yeah, like you're ready to fucking throw down.
Yeah. They're as tall as me in the game. So I was like, whoa, fuck. I took off the goggles. I was like, no, not at all. I have to ease into that. When I first put them on, dude, it was so out of body is the only way I can describe it. It was weird I look down at these hands that are holding these things, but they're not my hands, but I have no body. And my brain was like, hey, this is what it feels like to be dead. I think this is what it feels like when you die.
Oh God. I got this game for PlayStation 4. I have not tried it yet. Well, I haven't tried it with the VR yet. It's I can't remember the name of it. It's a Star Wars flight simulator game. But you can play it regular third person, or you can throw on the VR and you are, basically the pilot. And that seems like it would be fucking crazy, because some of these levels are super fast paced, and oh my God, I think I would freak out in the VR. Like, I'm a pilot and I'm fucking bouncing off of cliff edges now because I can't control shit. This is way too intense.
Yeah, I want to get a good sword fighting game so bad. In that game, you can have knives and shit. It's so funny. Like, my daughter likes to play Call of Duty a lot. My youngest one. Now she has like VR Call of Duty. And my wife was in the living room, and I was like, watch her play. And she was like, what? Is it scary? I was like, yeah, she's my daughter. Watch this. And my daughter will fucking like shoot somebody down, and while she's reloading with one hand, she'll pull out her pistol and like walk past the body and shoot it twice and reholster her pistol. She's like just executing everybody.
That's awesome.
It was scary. And she's like, is it bad that I know how to reload a Glock now? I was like, no, it's probably good. But it's really fucking cool.
Savage.
I mean, it's gnarly. It's such a weird thing. There's so many things you can do with it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that it boasted about, like, that came free with it that no longer work or they've changed. But I mean, there's limitless shit you can do with that. I didn't realize the potential of VR. If you can handle it, there's a lot of stuff that will get you sick and dizzy and all that shit.
Yeah, I haven't tried any of like the roller coaster simulators or anything. to me, like that type of stuff, it just isn't as intriguing because you're not actually having the drop. So it's like a weird kind of trick your mind sort of thing where you're not really experiencing it, but like you're kind of expecting to. I don't know. It's weird.
Right. There's like, you can download apps, and I got YouTube VR. So when you open it, it'll bring up videos. YouTube will bring up videos that are filmed in 360 in VR, so you can watch those. And they're
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And they had instantly roller coaster videos, and I put that on. And you're very correct. There's no movement physically. So it's you just basically like visually you flopping your head around. Like it was like 4 seconds where I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm turning, like I had to close my eyes and take the thing off right away.
The capabilities with it are insane though. Like just and especially the more graphics for games improve and the more realistic they're able to become, like VR games specifically are going to get really fucking intense.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that game that we got. It's called Contractors, but you have a knife on your hip, and when you're waiting for the match to start, I pulled out my knife and looked at it, and just the characteristics that go into it. You can see where the guy like over sharpened down the hilt, and he started to flatten out like the hilt of the knife. It's just weird. It's so bizarre how real it is. I didn't think it would be that immersive with just a visual aspect, but there's the audio aspect's pretty cool too. Like you said, you're in that giant airplane hangar obstacle course, and you call the zombies, you kill them all, but you can hear one just moaning somewhere for like 20 minutes trying to find it. It's fucking scary.
Yeah, especially because the headsets have the things on the speakers right on your ears, so it does fuck with you too, because it'll go from, if it's on your left side, you'll hear it on your left side. It's not coming in stereo. It's actually like where it's coming from. It's pretty awesome. But that stuff is so fucking scary though, man. Like it's definitely not for jumpy people, because it's like we said, it gets a little intense.
Yeah, there's one program it's a sculpting program. So you can sculpt in VR, which I'm very interested to try. But what I find interesting is that it says I can export in a 3D printer file anything I draw.
Huh. Wow.
So that would be cool. I'm going to see if I can pull off something cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah, make a bunch of Mothmen or something.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work.
They say I make it in the program, save the file, then I can just plug in my headset into my computer and take the files right out of it.
Very cool.
Yeah. I hope it's that easy.
Yeah, it's probably not, but it would be nice if it was.
Yeah, everything else has seemed to be that easy. There's a few apps that allow, like one called Big Screen. It starts you off in a theater. And if you have homies or whatever that have the VR set, you can send them invites, and it'll bring you all into this theater, and you can watch whatever the fuck you want. But they said they changed that. They had this thing called something from Verizon events, to where like all sporting events, they even said MMA, have a VR camera there filming it. So you can go to this, basically like this movie theater, but each theater is a different live event in VR. So you can go watch MMA in a room full of other people that are actually, like, I don't, not really, but virtually there, and you can talk to everybody and go see concerts that way. But they said they changed that, and what they replaced it with doesn't work, which was a bummer to see. I would have been rad to check out a couple concerts after smoking the devil's
concerts
lettuce.
Would be really yeah concerts would be the best for VR, man.
Oh yeah,
like that would be something I would be 100% down for, is to watch some shows in VR, and from the comfort of my own home, but have the because during COVID a lot of bands put out YouTube concerts or did virtual concerts, and it was really cool and all, but it's essentially you're watching it on TV. But if you're in VR, you're going to get the concert experience. It's going to be really cool. You're going to have the surround sound because it's on your fucking head. You'll have the visual experience where you move your head and you're seeing a different perspective. Like, there's a lot of cool capabilities for that.
Yeah, I definitely wish that still worked. That was something that I heard about that I looked forward to. I'm sure there's some VR videos on YouTube of concerts I can check out, but it would have been cool to watch MMA that way. That would have been. Can you imagine that? That would have been fucking rad.
Yeah, like especially if you could pick your like your perspective, you know, like get a floating perspective, like if you wanted to be like in the second tier seating but like floating up so you can see from a higher perspective or directly over the cage as if you're looking down on, like, that shit would be so cool, man.
Yeah. There's a fucking program that said it'll share my fucking computer screen, and it works with most Windows apps, so I'm wondering if I can edit in VR. That would be rad.
Oh wow, imagine that. It'd be like the Avengers. You're just using the Air touch screens.
Yeah, it's like the Lawnmower Man, but better. Like the public didn't
way better.
Yeah, the public didn't get to experience too much of that hexagon world that was like the first steps of VR. Nobody had access to VR, but now that we do, it's just way more than I expected. If anybody has one of these things, let me know. Find me on there. We'll fucking shoot people or cast spells on people.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. Do you remember what was it called? Hexen or Heretic?
Heretic, yeah.
I think Hexen was a sequel to it. But that would be fucking dope as hell to have a VR game like Hexen or Heretic where you're like casting spells at monsters and shit from a first person perspective.
Oh, there's quite a few of them.
Is there?
Yes, sir. There's one that I want to get that seems to be. I really want a sword accurate game. There's one that boasts like, you know, it has like the hand tracking. You see like people play the first Oculus on YouTube and they'll lift up their hand and it's like twirling around. All that shit smoothed out. There's no glitches. It's very creepy how well it tracks your hands. There's even a feature now to where you don't have to hold anything. It'll just track your physical hands through the cameras. But it boasts having the best sword accuracy, and then it has archery and spells and all that shit. So, I mean, there's some games on there that are should I say mainstream? Or is The Forest and Green Hell mainstream? Not really, but
well, they've got. I've heard really good things about the Star Wars. I forgot what it's called. It's like Star Wars lightsaber duel or something, but it's all just like lightsaber fights, I guess, and it's supposed to be really, really good.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those, and I'm scared of those being too cartoony. The one that I'm looking at says it has intense and immense gore. So if you know you hit somebody in the forearm with a fucking broadsword, it's coming off. And I would hope that would happen in the game, and I guess it does.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So it's realistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. As a young man, I was a big knife and sword dork, so there's a little bit of training that took place. So I really want to fuck people up in VR with a sword.
Yes. I want to get one.
I think everybody in the world should have one. I don't see how I'll play a fucking regular video game again.
It's ruined them for you?
Yeah.
It's Skyrim ruined video games for me.
Same here.
I haven't been able to get into a game since Skyrim.
Yeah, I've actually found myself that way. I mean, Red Dead helped, and I find myself looking for games like that.
Yeah.
Open world, deep story, immersive games like that, and they're few and far between. You know, I didn't even get to play Red Dead 2, and I really want to, but I just don't.
I never finished it. I started to play it, and I really enjoyed it, but I just stopped playing it one day, and then I never went back to it. And I don't really have a reason why. I never reached a point where I was bored or didn't enjoy it. I just think it was one of those things where I was playing it and something came up where I didn't play it for a few days or a week, and then I just was like, well, it's been this long. I guess I just won't go back, and then I never did. And I had it for Xbox 360, which I don't have anymore. So if I wanted to play it, I'd have to replay it, which I kind of want to.
Did you get the red ring of death?
No, I started to have issues with the door that you feed the discs into opening up. It just wouldn't open anymore, so then I would have to manually do it, like unravel a paper clip and then push it through this little tiny hole to make the thing pop open. And that got to be such a pain in the ass that I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 4 instead. So I did.
Nice. Yeah, the Red Dead 2, there's a clip I put on our Instagram a while ago that was demonstrating how active the free open world is and how the physics work. It was this clip of this dude on a horse, and he was stopped on a trail, and some other dude on a horse kind of rides up on his right. And for some reason, he's bad-mouthing the player. He's, what are you looking at? You shouldn't be here. You don't belong here. All that shit. And the guy finally said, I'll blow you off your horse. And he pulled out a shotgun. And the player pulled out his lasso and threw it around the guy. And he actually caught his gun with it. So when he cinched the lasso, it pulled the gun to his body. And the guy fired his shotgun and blew his own fucking head off.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was gnarly. Imagine physics like that in a VR game.
Yeah, that would be really, really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to be able to actually pull it off. But that's the scary thing, though, man. Like you start needing to get skills in real life to play games, and then like you keep going down that rabbit hole, and how soon is it before you've created the simulation, before you've created the Matrix?
Yeah, if they had everything I would need, if I was able to edit on there and all that shit. I mean, they have Instagram, so I'd be able to run all the show's accounts from there. If they had everything I need, I can see keeping that thing on for the majority of the day, every day. It's a little scary and worrisome.
Yeah, and what if we are already in a Matrix, and then VR is like the Matrix within the Matrix? Like, how far does it go?
Yeah.
How many layers are on this onion?
Yeah, I mean, I almost shudder to think about how good VR will be in 10 years, 20 years. Just with what this thing can do and how it looks.
Yeah, I think the next step, I mean, obviously more realistic graphics, but also having like body sensation as well to add to the effect, so that you can have things where you're experiencing movement and actually feeling the movement. Or, if you're fighting, have like a pressure vest or something where you can actually feel like impact. You're not exactly feeling the pain, but you can feel where the impact hit. So it makes it actually, like, imagine how fucking intense that would be, dude. Like, because it already triggers your fight or flight when you're fully immersed like that. But then you start feeling the thumps on your back, like as something is attacking you from behind, and then you turn around and see it right there and feel it like put pressure on your shoulder. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it
would be really fun, but it would be terrifying.
Yeah, there's a video I saw. It had to be 10 years ago now, of these dudes wearing virtual gear, and they were playing a Call of Duty style game, a shooter game. And they had this dude on this like circular treadmill, like almost like he was on a ball. And it had like a railing around it, I guess is the best way to describe it, that came off the bottom of it and circled the player. And they had posts that came off this railing. And he had a harness on that was attached to like one of the posts, so that if he fell over, it would hold him up. But he was able to play this shooting game. And now that I've done it, it's 10 years ago, so it's nowhere near as good as the game that I have now. But he was able to like run on this ball. And then as he was getting shot at, these posts around this railing would shoot jets of air at him. So he'd feel these shots of air hit him as he was getting shot in the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was 10 years ago. And that's, it's a bit much. It's a big rig and setup, but If you're into that shit, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. I don't see it.
Well, and
too
it's
hard.
a big rig then, but like think about how everything's like a fucking computer that we have on our cell phone would have taken up like a wing of a building 60 years ago or 70 years ago. And now we've got it in our pocket. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that that's something that we would be able to see in our lifetime. And then you could get like interactive equipment. Like you could get a gun, that would plug in. So it would be like you actually have your gun, you pulling the trigger, so it actually seems more realistic.
Yeah, I got some of those with it. It's like a mold of a gun that you slip the controller into.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. This shit's wild. Like, I just think back when we were kids. Like, I grew up, the first system I had was a ColecoVision. And
what?
it's not a really well-known, it's not a really well-known system. It was really advanced for its time, but it was its own thing. Like, it had its own games and everything. Like, it would have all the classic 70s and 80s arcade ports like Pac-Man and Centipede and Asteroids and all that. But then it had its own games. But it also had this feature on it where you could buy these expansion modules that would plug into the side of it, and it would allow you to play Atari games on it, or you could play, I think, Commodore 64 maybe. Like it turned it into like a computer system that you could play games on your TV. It was very cool, very ahead of its time, but it didn't really catch on as much in the 80s. Atari blew them out of the water, and then obviously Nintendo came along. But I guess just picture like Atari but with slightly better graphics. And that was ColecoVision. But that was the first system I had. And that was a hand-me-down from my uncle when I was like 5. And then it stopped working and I got an Atari, so I kind of downgraded. But Atari had more games, and like all the kids had Atari, so I could borrow games and trade games and all that shit. And then obviously Nintendo. But it's so it's wild, man. Just seeing how far games have come since I was a kid in the 80s, like home console games. And to just go from these like single colored pixel things to very realistic graphics and now immersive virtual reality systems. It's nuts.
Yeah, and you always got to think when it comes to technology in this country. I mean, if they're letting us have this technology, just this fucking Facebook, ran fucking virtuality headset, I wonder what they have that they can't let us know about.
Maybe they already have the virtual reality with realistic graphics, and they're just using it for training.
Oh yeah, we know they do. They use the VR for training for sure. And after playing that game, that Contractors game, I see why. I mean, besides cleaning the fucking gun, you have to learn everything about it.
And the military has used games for training forever.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's been like what we talked about in the episode of the Whatcast, the Varginha incident, and how video games was created based on it that was later used for military training.
That's crazy. Imagine being some indie programmer and getting a call from your country's military. Hey, can we use that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, do you even say like, yeah, for a fee, I'll license you guys the game? There's a couple travel apps to where I can go visit shit. What's the first thing I should go visit? I mean, I'm obviously going to go check out the pyramids for sure, but...
Yeah, you got to check out the pyramids.
What's number 2?
How deep into the ocean can you go?
Ooh.
Or how about Antarctica?
That's cool, yeah. In the 360 videos, in the one I have, it allows me to scan my couch and have it included in the virtual reality. So when
so it's like you're just surfing on your couch?
Yeah, I'm just sitting on my couch, but if you put on a 360 video, it projects this video everywhere that's not your couch. So you can just like look down and be watching the video. I did a couple underwater ones where they had like Mosasaurus and a bunch of cool prehistoric things, and you can look all around you while you're sitting in your couch. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen I don't remember what system it was called, or I shouldn't say what system, what program it was called. But there was one for a virtual reality that was set up for computers specifically, like, virtual reality add-on or something. But you could go to ancient cities and get like a street level tour of these ancient cities with a tour guide and everything. It was fucking just so cool. And they had it set up just like it would have been at the time. And the tour guide is telling you like what different areas of the city are for and what the buildings are for. And it seems like a really cool way to show history. That's not boring because you're actually kind of like living it.
Yeah. Interested to see where all that stuff goes. I mean, it hasn't died out. It's been around forever. When the PlayStation 1s came out, I was scared to get them because I was scared for Sony to treat everything they do like that. Give it the same treatment and just make it, and then 2 games and then forget about it. But yeah, hit me up. I got a virtual pole dancing class. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, save that for our OnlyFans, will you?
Our OnlyFans will be all VR.
Yeah, we're switching exclusively to VR for our OnlyFans. So, if you are currently a subscriber to our OnlyFans page, please make sure that you upgrade your equipment so that you can join us in immersive sexy times.
Yeah, I will appear as a shark to do my shark videos now. Shark on shark.
Shark on shark. Oh, shit.
Well, again, if anybody has one of those fucking MetaQuest 2 things, hit me up. I'll give you my name and I'll forego my physical body and dissolve into virtual reality.
And maybe you and Mateo can touch tips in a virtual setting.